Ask your Democrat supporting Biden friend to explain what's happening on the border. That's this week on Come On Now. Welcome to Come On Now. My name is Bryan Preston, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott recently appeared on Newsmax and said this.
But listen, what's going on at our border is highly unusual. And it's all because of the Biden administration's policy of letting anybody come across the border, including those who are testing positive for COVID-19.
Wait. What did Governor Abbott just say? Let me hear that again.
But listen, what's going on at our border is highly unusual. And it's all because of the Biden administration's policy of letting anybody come across the border, including those who are testing positive for COVID-19.
Did you catch what Governor Abbott said there, talking about COVID spreading from the border? That's been a rumor up until now. It's been verified. We've reported a couple of stories about this. Fox News, I think, actually broke the story, and now it's gotten nationwide, that there is a super spreader, at least the potential for a super spreader event to be happening on the border. And this is happening at the same time that Joe Biden is out there and all the other Democrats are out there trying to clamp down on you, even if you're vaccinated, and trying to make you wear a mask and trying to make kids wear a mask. So what's the situation on the border? I'll let Governor Abbott explain it again.
The executive order today stems from action that was reported yesterday in La Joya, Texas, where it was learned that there were migrants that the Border Patrol had released into the city of La Joya, and they were found at a Whataburger in La Joya having COVID-19. And pieces of the puzzle were put together, and we have since learned there is a perhaps large number of migrants who have been released into La Joya, into the Rio Grande Valley, and perhaps into other regions of the state of Texas. And so I issued an executive order to empower law enforcement in the state of Texas to prevent the release and the movement around these regions of migrants who could be importing COVID-19 into the state of Texas.
All right, we're going to break this down a little bit. La Joya, Texas is a little town down in Hidalgo County. It's on the border. It's not too far from McAllen, which is a big population center in the Rio Grande Valley. That whole area of Texas, you're probably talking 85, 90% Hispanic because it's right there on the border with Mexico. La Joya is not a big town. It's about 4,000 people. There's a hotel in the middle of that town that is hosting COVID-positive illegal aliens. We know this for a fact. It's been reported. The facts have been verified, and they were actually verified by the local police department down there. So what's happening is this hotel, and it may not be the only one, I'll get to that in a second. This hotel is hosting nothing but COVID-positive people, and it's not quarantining them, meaning they're able to get out into the community in La Joya, Texas, as much as they want and spread COVID. They were found last week at a Whataburger in La Joya. Now, this is also really important. Whataburgers are extremely popular in Texas. They're usually along highways, and this one, where these people were spotted, is, in fact, along a major highway that goes straight into McAllen, which goes down to Harlingen, where there's an international airport, and it goes north to Del Rio going the other way. So people in this Whataburger who had COVID and were not taking precautions, as these illegals were not, could have spread the virus to hundreds of people right there in that restaurant if they were there for a couple of hours. That could have vectored out to hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, not just in Texas, but nationwide. This is relevant not just to Texas, but the whole country. Ron DeSantis gave a quote last week in which he said that about 70% of the people that he encountered when he was on the border turned out they were headed for Florida.
The people that they're interdicting, when they ask them where your ultimate destination, now these are the Florida guys we're talking about here, 70% of the people they have interdicted said their ultimate destination is in the state of Florida. So this is something that every time there's a wave across that border, I'm not saying it's 70% in every single part of the border, but for here, it's the majority. But just the scale of this, in terms of the stress on public resources, school, medical, all these other things, this is going to greatly impact communities throughout Florida and I think throughout the country.
So those are just the ones that Governor DeSantis encountered. Other governors have probably run into similar things. Governor Nome was just down here from South Dakota. I don't think most illegal aliens are going to go that far north, but you never know. A bunch of them will. South Dakota is a great place to live, especially with Governor Nome there. In the meantime, we have this whole issue going on with masks and vaccines and this attempted clampdown on your civil rights the attempted clampdown on your ability to work and make a living if you don't have the vaccine. Now, I happen to have the vaccine, and I've been working from home, so this doesn't really personally affect my ability to make a living, but it does affect a lot of people's ability to make a living, because the federal government is coming out with guidelines saying you must be vaccinated to work here. They're encouraging states and governments and private corporations to do this as well. Meanwhile, while they're doing that and claiming they're following the science, on the border, they're letting COVID positive people come into this country and they're not quarantining them. They know that they're COVID positive. They're testing them. They're not making them stay in these hotels. And so this is one hotel in La Jolla. It's probably not the only one. There may be dozens of these hotels around the border states and around the country that are doing similar things, and we don't know about it. Ask your Democrat friends to explain this. How, on the one hand, forcing citizens to mask up or get the vaccine or whatever, carry around vaccine passports, which you know that's what they really want to do, how that is following the science, but how letting COVID positive people into the country and not quarantining them is also following the science. This does not compute, it does not work, it does not add up, and it tells you that this administration is either lying to you or they're trying to hurt you. It's one of the two. As for following the science, that's not happening. Come on now. I'm Bryan Preston. Thanks for watching.